Hello everyone, welcome to Ayurveda 101. I'm Ratin Chaturvedi and today we'll be talking about food therapy from Ayurvedic perspective. Ayurveda recommends eating according to Prakriti, Vikriti to balance the mind and also to adjust diet according to the seasons. And we'll talk about all of these. To balance the doshas in the body, Ayurveda takes into account the six taste or the rasas. These are sweet, sour, salty, pungent, bitter, and astringent. Of these six tastes, the three, sour, salty, and pungent, they are heating in nature and hence increase pitta. The rest three are cooling in nature, so they decrease pitta. And the first three, sweet, sour, and salty, they tend to decrease vata and increase kapha. And the rest, pungent, bitter, astringent, that increases vata and decreases kapha. And these are some examples of food associated with these six tastes. So we utilize these six tastes as well as the guna qualities of the affected dosha and also using the treatment principle that like increases like and opposites balance, we make the food recommendations. So for vata balancing, favor sweet, sour, salty tasting food, minimize bitter, astringent, pungent tasting food. And vata dosha has inherent qualities of dry, cold, light, rough. So for balancing vata, we want to minimize such foods. Hence, we favor oleation to avoid dryness and roughness. We use grains like wheat, rice, which are sweet in nature. Using the same treatment principles for pitta balancing, we want to favor sweet, bitter, astringent tasting as well as cooling foods which decrease pitta. We want to minimize sour, salty, pungent, hot food which increases pitta. We use oils like ghee, butter, coconut oil, and grains with sweet taste, which all pacify pitta. And along the same treatment line for kapha balancing, we favor pungent, bitter, and astringent food as well as dry, heating food which decreases kapha. We also minimize sour, salty tasting foods, oily food, heavy, dense food which increase kapha. So use oils and fats sparingly for kapha balancing. Use grains like barley, oats, millet, which have dry nature and help balance kapha. And we also favor warm cooked vegetables to balance vata. We favor sweet ripe fruits. We also favor heating spices which bring warmth to balance coolness of kapha. And we minimize tea, coffee, cold drinks which increase vata. For pitta balancing, we minimize vegetables like ginger, chilies, onion, nightshade. We favor bitter vegetables, astringent fruits, cooling spices like fennel, cilantro. We also minimize stimulating and heating drinks which increase pitta and favor cooling drinks like coconut water, milk. Mm. And for balancing kapha, we use pungent bitter vegetables, we use heating spices, we minimize fruit like bananas and avocados, minimize nuts, we minimize heavy cold foods, we minimize cold beverages. So, this way we balance our bodily doshas. Ayurveda also has food categories to balance the qualities of mind. Sattvic food is the one which is pure, sweet, and easily digestible. Sattvic food creates clarity, brings contentment, and helps towards spiritual growth. So, foods like whole grains, milk, ghee, legumes are described as sattvic in Ayurveda. And foods which are pungent, stimulating, which stimulate desire, movement, kinetic energy in the body are considered rajasic. So all kinds of vata pitta increasing foods like hot food, spicy food, spices, meat, fish, fermented food, caffeinated drinks, alcohol, they are all considered rajasic. And foods which create heaviness, dullness in body and mind, dull the senses, they are considered tamasic. So fried food, heavy food, stale food, cheese, mushrooms, meat, they are considered tamasic. So this way, food therapy can help balance our thoughts, emotions, and behavior also. Now, Ayurveda also talks about adjusting our diet according to season. Like in spring, kapha is increased, so we eat to balance kapha. In summer, pitta is increased, so we favor sweet, cooling foods to balance pitta. In autumn, vata is increased, so we avoid all the foods which increase vata. In winter, both vata and kapha are increased, but Ayurveda says that this is the time our digestive fire is very strong. So heavier foods can be consumed and avoid fasting and light foods during this time. So Ayurveda talks not just about what food to consume, but also about the process of growing food, making food, consuming food. They talk about how the food is being prepared, how it's being eaten, when it is being consumed, and many other factors at length in Ayurveda dietetics. Ayurveda does recommend fasting, but that needs to be personalized based on prakriti, vikriti, age, season, and so forth. And Ayurveda says that we should always eat according to our prakriti, natural constitution, and vikriti, the imbalance. Also, have our biggest meal during noontime when the sun is high and Agni is strongest. To pay attention to our bowel movements because that affects our digestion, also to eat without stress, giving full attention to food and enjoying the eating experience. Now we'll look at some common examples of Ayurvedic food which are recommended for dosha balancing, like warm water. It's good for reducing ama, toxins, and kapha. CCF tea, cumin, coriander, fennel tea. It helps balances all three doshas and improves digestion. Khichdi is light food. It balances all three doshas. Honey is good for balancing pitta and kapha. Cow's milk is good for balancing vata and pitta. Ghee is especially good for balancing vata and pitta. So this way food can be used to bring balance not only in body but also in mind. So this is the Ayurvedic food therapy. Thank you for listening.